Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. BJP emerges as the single largest party, winning 74 seats in DDC elections in Jammu and Kashmir. National Conference gets 67, PDP 27 and Congress 26 seats. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath says farmers are misguided on new farm laws. Reiterates new laws very much beneficial to farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.69% in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the centenary celebrations of Vishwa Bharati University Shanti Niketan tomorrow. Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh take lead in urban local body reforms, gets permission to raise additional 4,898 crore rupees through open market borrowings. And Israel to hold snap polls next year as Parliament fails to meet deadline to pass the budget. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. In Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory, out of 280 District Development Council DDC constituencies, results of 276 seats have been declared. BJP is leading the tally with 74 seats, followed closely by J&K National Conference with 67 seats. Independents have won 49 seats, Mehbooba Mufti's People's Democratic Party 27, Indian National Congress 26, while J&K Apni Party has bagged 12 seats and J&K People's Conference 8 seats. CPIM has got 5 seats while JKPM bagged 3 seats and J&K National Panthers Party and PDF won 2 seats each. Bahujan Samaj Party BSP has won 1 seat. Addressing a press conference in Jammu, senior BJP leader Anurag Thakur welcomed the DDC poll results and said that it is a victory of democracy.
डराने का प्रयास किया गया, आतंक की बात की गई, बंदूक उठाने की बात की गई, लेकिन यहाँ के लोगों ने 8 चरणों के इन चुनावों में बढ़ चढ़कर भाग लिया। सैकड़ों लोगों ने चुनाव लड़ा, लाखों लोगों ने मतदान किया और कुल मिलाकर दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र में जम्मू कश्मीर के राज्य में एक सफल चुनाव जिला परिषद के हुए। उसके लिए जीत जमहूरियत की हुई, जनता की हुई, जनतंत्र की हुई।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that the new farm laws are very much beneficial for the farmers, but the people who do not want the development of the country and farmers are opposing them. He said that some people are misguiding farmers, but farm laws are in the interest of farmers. Mr. Yogi was addressing a farmers' gathering at Lok Bhavan, Lucknow this morning. He said that agriculture mandis will continue to work, MSP will also continue, and there will be no harm to farmers by the agriculture laws. Mr. Yogi said that PM Modi-led union government has launched highest number of welfare schemes for farmers after independence. He said that new farm laws enable farmers to sell their product in any mandi at any place.
ये बार बार कहा जा रहा है कि एमएसपी समाप्त नहीं होगी, मंडियां समाप्त नहीं होंगी, लेकिन तब भी इसके नाम पर गुमराह करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। ईपीएफसी एक्ट के अंतर्गत ये प्रावधान दिया जा रहा है कि किसान अब केवल मंडी में ले जाने के लिए अपने उत्पाद के लिए मजबूर नहीं होगा। अगर उसे लगता है कि लखनऊ की मंडी से ज्यादा दाम उसे बाराबंकी की मंडी में मिल सकते हैं या बाराबंकी से अच्छा दाम उसे दिल्ली की मंडी में मिल सकते हैं, बिना किसी टैक्स के, बिना किसी सरचार्ज के किसान अपने उत्पाद को देश के अंदर किसी भी मंडी में ले जाकर के बेच सकता है और ज्यादा मुनाफा कमा सकता है।
Mr. Yogi said union and state governments are doing welfare of farmers with new technology. Agriculture universities and Krishi Vigyan Kendras in state are doing it full throttle for upliftment of farmers. Mr. Yogi said that government is doing work on the lines of great farmer leader, late Chaudhary Charan Singh.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the nation in paying tributes to 5th Prime Minister of the country, Chaudhary Charan Singh. Mr. Modi said Charan Singh devoted to development of villages, farmers throughout his life. He said during his tenure, Singh launched many farmer-friendly policies. On the occasion of the birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Chaudhary Charan Singh, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is inspired by Chaudhry Charan Singh and will not let farmers get hurt. December 23rd is observed as the Kisan Divas or Farmers' Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of the 5th Prime Minister, Chaudhry Charan Singh. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar also paid tributes to the former Prime Minister, Chaudhry Charan Singh, on the occasion of his birth anniversary today. Mr. Tomar reiterated that the Narendra Modi-led NDA government is fully committed towards the welfare of farmers in the country. The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was in a special series Year-Ender. The reform in agriculture sector and doubling farmers' income have been at the forefront of NDA government's agenda. Farm laws that have been brought recently have many significant provisions for the farmers' empowerment and welfare. Addressing virtually Kisan Sammelan in Madhya Pradesh on 18th of this month, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted several measures for the benefit of farmers. He reassured farmers that minimum support price and APMCs will continue.
ये हमारी सरकार एमएसपी को लेकर इतनी गंभीर है कि हर बार बुवाई से पहले एमएसपी की घोषणा करती है। इससे किसान को भी आसानी होती है, उन्हें भी पहले पता चल जाता है इस फसल पर इतनी एमएसपी मिलने वाली है। कानून बनने के बाद भी वैसे ही एमएसपी की घोषणा की गई जैसे पहले की जाती थी। एमएसपी पर खरीदी भी उन्हीं मंडियों में हुई जिनमें कानून बनने से पहले होती थी, कानून बनने के बाद भी वही हुई। अगर कानून लागू होने के बाद भी एमएसपी की घोषणा हुई, एमएसपी पर सरकारी खरीदी हुई, उन्हीं मंडियों में हुई, तो क्या कोई समझदार इस बात को स्वीकार करेगा कि एमएसपी बंद हो जाएगी?
The Prime Minister also emphasized that Indian farmers should have access to the modern facilities available to the farmers in the developed countries. It cannot be delayed any longer. Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare Narendra Singh Tomar has reiterated the resolve of the government and its commitment for a pro-farmer policy.
एमएसपी चलती रहेगी, इस पर कोई खतरा नहीं है। एमएसपी की रबी और खरीफ की जो खरीद है इस वर्ष भी बहुत अच्छे से हुई है और रबी की फसल की बुआई के समय एमएसपी घोषित कर दी है। एमएसपी को नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में 1.5 गुना किया गया है। खरीद का वॉल्यूम भी बढ़ाया गया है। पहले गेहूं और धान पर ही खरीद होती थी, अब दलहन और तिलहन पर भी खरीद की जा रही है और एमएसपी से किसानों को ज्यादा से ज्यादा सुरक्षा मिल सके और उसमें अधिक पैसा हम खर्च कर सकें। इस दृष्टि से नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार की प्रतिबद्धता पहले भी थी, आज भी है और आने वाले कल में रहेगी।
Our correspondent takes a look at the significant provisions of the progressive farm laws.
Before these farm laws, the farmers had to sell notified farm produce only in APMC Mandi, but now they have freedom of choice to sell in Mandi or any other seller, unlike Mandi system, where farmers have to accept whatever the price offered to them. Under the new system, farmers can bargain for the price even at doorstep. They will be able to sell their produce to merchant wherever they get a higher price. Besides, farmers can sell their produce within the state or anywhere else in the country. As there will be no Mandi fee and other charges borne by producers and consumers, they will have large savings. Earlier, the farmers could sell fruits and vegetables outside of APMC Mandi, but now this freedom has been extended to all agri-produce and all over the country. Contract farming has been allowed nationally on terms favorable to farmers, under which the contractor cannot end the agreement without full payment. However, farmers can end agreements anytime they wish. Besides, farmers have also been made partners of value chain. The rural farm youth will get the opportunity to trade and run supply chain. With these new provisions, the minimum support price and APMC mandis will also continue along. Remarkably, after passing of farm legislations, central government has increased the MSP in September this year, which shows its commitment to the welfare of farmers of the country. Divakar, Air News, Delhi.
Government has said that 50,77,000 paddy farmers have been benefited from the current Kharif marketing season procurement operations with MSP value of over 79,675 crore rupees. Out of the total purchase, Punjab alone has contributed more than 202 lakh tons till the close of procurement season in the state on 30th November, which is 48.05% of the total procurement. The ministry said approval was accorded for procurement of over 51 lakh tons of pulse and oilseeds of Kharif marketing season 2020 under price support scheme. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 95.69%. During the last 24 hours, more than 26,000 COVID patients have recovered. Health Minister said the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 96,63,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 2.86% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is around 2,89,000. During the past 24 hours, 23,950 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 1,99,000. The minister said that effective implementation of the strategic and graded test, track and treat approach has led to higher recoveries and lower fatality. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.45%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 333 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,46,444.
A total of 939 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection was reported in Delhi in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,18,000. Delhi government said that over 5,99,000 people have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 1,434 people recovered and 25 deaths were also reported in the city, taking the toll to 10,329. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is 8,735. Daily new cases in Delhi have seen a fall over the last few days after it had emerged as the epicenter of the country's mini COVID-19 surge during the festive season last month. In November, the city had seen more than 8,000 cases per day, as well as its highest number of deaths in a single day, with experts suggesting that Delhi was witnessing a third wave of coronavirus. Himachal Pradesh has recorded a decrease in COVID-19 infection and related deaths. The number of active cases in the state has fallen to 4,442, which was around 8,300 at the end of last month. While there have been only 4 deaths due to COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, which is a quarter of the mortality recorded in November last. It may be recalled that during the last November, a sharp increase in COVID infection and related deaths was observed. Meanwhile, the total number of people tested positive for COVID-19 in the state is 53,019. However, 47,653 patients also recovered from the infection. The state has recorded 877 deaths so far.
In Gujarat, 4 passengers who arrived by Vande Bharat flight AI-1172 from London to Ahmedabad at Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport tested COVID-19 positive. There were 275 passengers on board the flight. Those detected positive have been shifted to Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation run SVP Hospital for treatment. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Total number of COVID-19 cases detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,37,247. Out of this, 2,21,602 patients recovered. The recovery rate reached 93.41%. More than 91,62,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. At present, total active cases in the state are 11,397, out of which 64 patients are on ventilator. 7 patients died yesterday, taking the total death due to COVID-19 up to 4,248. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
The government has said that the new strain of coronavirus found in the United Kingdom has not been seen in India so far. Briefing media in New Delhi, Member Health in Niti Aayog, Dr. V.K. Paul said there is no cause for concern and no need to panic, but there is a need to remain vigilant. He said the new strain of COVID-19 in the United Kingdom has increased transmissibility.
No need to panic. To the best of our knowledge, we have yet to spot such a virus in our country for which there are intensive efforts in the offing. This virus increases transmissibility, infectiousness, but does not increase propensity for death or hospitalization or severity of disease. It has, as of our understanding today, no impact on the potential of the emerging vaccines that are being developed in our country and are available also on the scene in other countries.
Britain reported a record number of new COVID-19 infections yesterday as it battles a surge in cases caused by variant strain of the disease. Official figures showed there had been 36,804 new cases and a further 691 deaths, a report.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his scientific advisors said on Saturday a variant of coronavirus, which could be up to 70% more transmissible, was spreading rapidly in Britain, although it was not thought to be more deadly or to cause more serious illness. The authorities have since brought in tight social mixing restriction measures for London, South East England and Wales, while plans to ease curbs over Christmas across the nation have been dramatically scaled back or scrapped altogether. Meanwhile, drug makers including BioNTech and Moderna are testing their COVID-19 vaccines against the new fast-spreading variant of the virus that is raging in Britain. Ugur Sahin, chief executive of Germany's BioNTech, which with partner Pfizer took less than a year to get a vaccine approved, said yesterday that there are 9 mutations on the virus, and the mutation known as B.1.1.7 lineage may be up to 70% more infectious and more of a concern for children.
Because even though this new variant has multiple mutations, only 1% of this protein is changed. That means 99% is still the same, and we know that our immune response, or the immune response that is induced by our vaccine, is attacking this protein on multiple sites, so that the likelihood is high and that the vaccines will still work.
The World Health Organization said it will convene a meeting of members to discuss strategies to counter the mutation. Tanvi Khurana, News Desk.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa has announced a night curfew in the entire state starting tonight due to the emergence of a new strain of COVID virus in UK. Making the announcement in Bangalore today, the Chief Minister said that a night curfew will be imposed from night 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. till January 2nd. Stressing on the need to contain the spread of virus, he said that only those with negative COVID test report will be allowed to arrive in the airport. The Chief Minister said that RT-PCR test 72 hours prior to the travel will be mandatory.
Telangana state reported 635 fresh COVID cases during the past 24 hours. With this, the total COVID cases reported in the state has gone up to 282,982. The state conducted about 45,000 tests yesterday. The recovery rate was at 97.12%, with 573 more people recovering yesterday. In Mizoram, with the number of active cases of COVID-19 gradually declining, the recovery rate of coronavirus has improved to 96.44%. Also, the number of active cases has dropped down and now stands at 144. In Tripura, the number of active cases of COVID-19 has dropped down at 192 as of today. The recovery rate has also improved to 98.27%. In the past 24 hours, 13 new cases were recorded along with the recovery of 18 infected people.
The State-Level Disaster Management Authority meeting, SDMA, was held in Puducherry yesterday regarding corona vaccination. Our Puducherry correspondent reports that the meeting was held under the chairmanship of Chief Minister V. Narayanasamy.
Issues regarding corona vaccination, arrangements for storing vaccination medicines like cold chain arrangements, refrigeration setup, logistics arrangements, personnel management, strengthening of infrastructure in hospitals, etc. were discussed in the meeting. Chief Minister Narayanasamy told that the funds for these purposes may be utilized from Chief Minister Relief Fund, which is readily available, and funds from COVID Fund can also be used for installation of pressure swing absorption oxygen concentrator plant at 6 places, and the estimate will be about 70 lakhs, he added. In addition to corona issues, damage assessment due to recent cyclones and heavy rains, immediate repair of roads, etc. will also be decided. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. BJP emerges as the single largest party, winning 74 seats in DDC elections in Jammu and Kashmir. National Conference gets 67, PDP 27 and Congress 26 seats. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath says farmers are misguided on new farm laws, reiterates new laws very much beneficial to farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.69% in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the centenary celebrations of Vishwa Bharati University Shantiniketan tomorrow. Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh take lead in urban local body reforms, gets permission to raise additional 4,898 crore rupees through open market borrowings, and Israel to hold snap polls next year as Parliament failed to meet deadline to pass the budget. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the centenary celebrations of Vishwa Bharati University Shantiniketan tomorrow through video conferencing. The Prime Minister is the Chancellor of the university. The Governor of West Bengal, Jagdeep Dhankar, and Union Education Minister will also be present on the occasion. Founded by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore in 1921, Vishwa Bharati was declared to be a central university and an institution of national importance by an Act of Parliament in May 1951. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that Indian scientists have done path-breaking research and the Indian tech industry is at the forefront of solving global problems.
Through this gathering, I want to invite the global community to invest in India, to Indian talent and innovate in India. India has the brightest minds. India celebrates a culture of openness and transparency. The government of India stands ready to address any challenge and improve the research environment here.
Delivering the inaugural address at the India International Science Festival IISF 2020 last evening through video conference, Mr. Modi said India has data, demography, demand, democracy to achieve world-class scientific solutions. He said India has a rich legacy in science, technology and innovation, and all our efforts are aimed at making India the most trustworthy center for scientific learning. He asserted that the new national education policy will help in fostering scientific temper from an early age. The Prime Minister said now focus has shifted from outlays to outcome, from textbooks to research and application.
भारत के एजुकेशन सिस्टम में स्ट्रक्चरल रिफॉर्म्स किए जा रहे हैं ताकि किताबी ज्ञान से आगे निकलकर स्पिरिट ऑफ इंक्वायरी को बढ़ावा मिले। 3 दशक के लंबे समय के बाद देश को नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी मिल चुकी है। इस पॉलिसी के एजुकेशन सेक्टर को फोकस ही बदल गया है। पहले आउटलेज पर फोकस था, अब आउटकम्स पर है। पहले टेक्स्ट बुक की पढ़ाई पर फोकस था, अब रिसर्च और एप्लीकेशन पर है। नई नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी एक ऐसा माहौल देश में बनाने पर फोकस कर रही है जिससे टॉप क्वालिटी टीचर्स का एक पूल देश में तैयार हो सके। ये अप्रोच हमारे नए और उभरते साइंटिस्ट को भी मदद करेगी, एनकरेज करेगी।
Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh have taken the lead in undertaking the urban local bodies ULB reforms. The two states have successfully completed the set of reforms in functioning of ULBs as specified by the Department of Expenditure. To motivate the states to undertake reforms in various citizen-centric sectors, the Ministry of Finance has linked a part of additional borrowing permission granted to the states to completion of reforms. In view of the resource requirement to meet the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, the government had on 17th of May enhanced the borrowing limit of the states by 2% of the gross state's domestic product, GSDP. On successfully undertaking the ULB's reforms, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh have been granted permission to mobilize additional financial resources to the tune of 4,898 crore rupees through open market borrowings. The first phase of election to the 3,019 Gram Panchayats in 117 taluks in Karnataka yesterday recorded a voters turnout of 80%. Bangalore Rural District recorded the highest voting percentage of 92.35%, where elections were held for 47 Gram Panchayats in 2 taluks. The lowest of 74% turnout was reported from Yadgiri, where 59 Gram Panchayats faced elections yesterday in 3 taluks.
Arunachal Pradesh recorded about 53% turnout for the local body elections held yesterday. While speaking to reporters last evening, State Election Commission Secretary Nayali Ete said that the voting percentage is likely to increase as the Commission is still receiving figures from the districts. Mr. Ete informed that the polling was largely peaceful across the state apart from an incident of polling being stopped at 15 Yorkum polling centre in Kamla district after things went out of control over an argument of alleged double voting. He said repolling at the centre will be held tomorrow. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has underlined the need to increase the groundwater level and directed the Water Resources, Agriculture and Soil and Irrigation Department to work together in this direction. He was speaking in a meeting to review Atal Bhujal Yojana at his official residence Varsha in Mumbai. More from our correspondent.
While expressing concern over the depleting groundwater level due to unchecked pumping in Maharashtra, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has stressed on the need of proper implementation of water recharge schemes. He directed the officials of the concerned departments to work in this direction on priority basis. He also directed them to revive the Shivakalin water storage methods for increasing groundwater level. He asserted that awareness and water literacy can be increased among people with the help of NGOs, and public participation in these schemes will change the scenario of water scarcity in the areas like Marathwada. Shailesh Patil, AR News, Mumbai.
Two-time Congress MP from Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory, Madan Lal Sharma, passed away in the wee hours today at the age of 68. He represented Jammu-Poonch constituency in the 14th and 15th Lok Sabha. In an effort to guard against fake news being circulated on various platforms, we bring you a segment on fact check and myth busters. Government has termed a website claiming to be the official website of the National Recruitment Agency and inviting applications for various posts to be fake. It said the National Recruitment Agency NRA has not issued any advertisement or notice for recruitment against vacancies in the government as yet.
Former Maharashtra Chief Minister and Leader of Opposition in the Legislative Assembly, Devendra Fadnavis, released the book Ayodhya, written by BJP's State Vice President Madhav Bhandari in Mumbai yesterday. Speaking on the occasion, he said that the fight to build a Ram temple is a fight to awaken the Hindu community, and the book will be used as a reference book. Mr. Madhav Bhandari said he has tried to bring the truth about this subject to the world, and there is a need for further study on this subject. Israel's parliament, the Knesset, was dissolved after the two main parties in its unity government failed to meet a deadline in a row over state budgets last night. Israel will now hold its fourth elections in 2 years in March next year, just 12 months after the last round. Two previous elections were inconclusive, resulting in a rare government of national unity. Israel's parliament was automatically dissolved as required by law after a deadline to pass the 2020 state budget expired. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former election rival, Defense Minister Benny Gantz, established a unity government in May in the wake of three inconclusive elections held since April 2019. The two men have shared power since April in an uneasy coalition, agreeing to rotate as Prime Minister, with Mr. Netanyahu holding office first before a scheduled handover to Mr. Gantz in November 2021.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. In Jammu will have mainly clear sky, temperature will hover between 6 and 21 degrees Celsius. Srinagar is likely to have clear sky and temperature will go up to a maximum 9 degrees Celsius. In Leh there will be clear sky and temperature will vary between minus 13 and 0 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky towards afternoon or evening with temperature to touch a maximum 8 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will witness partly cloudy sky towards afternoon or evening and temperature will vary between 2 and 15 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, sky will be clear with temperature hovering between 5 and 21 degrees Celsius. Chandigarh will have mainly clear sky. The temperature in the city will hover between 6 and 21 degrees Celsius. The national capital experienced a cold in the morning. The temperatures will vary between 6 and 23 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky and the temperature will vary between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to have partly cloudy sky and temperature will hover between 21 and 29 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky and temperature will vary between 13 and 24 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the temperature will vary between 11 and 29 degrees Celsius. Ahmedabad will have mainly clear sky and Patna will have partly clear sky.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. BJP emerges as the single largest party, winning 74 seats in DDC elections in Jammu and Kashmir. National Conference gets 67, PDP 27 and Congress 26 seats. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath says farmers are misguided on new farm laws, reiterates new laws very much beneficial to farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.69% in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address the centenary celebrations of Vishwa Bharati University Shantiniketan tomorrow. Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh take lead in urban local body reforms, gets permission to raise additional 4,898 crore rupees through open market borrowings, and Israel to hold snap polls next year as Parliament failed to meet deadline to pass the budget. And with that, we end the midday news.